Take the next left onto Harlington Road West, A312. Continue on A312 for half a mile.
Effects to my mental and my physical well-being caused by constant anxiety, fear, hypervigilance, addiction of any kind comes hand in hand with lying. You lie if you're going to be an addict.
In a quarter of a mile, slide right onto Causeway, A312.
A lot, and so you can't ever relax. You're on it all the time, and that affects your nervous system, your cognitive behavior, all of that.
Take the next right onto Causeway, A312.
And wrapped up in that also is something called gaslighting, which is a term that's used a lot now. We need to be a little careful to really use it correctly.
Continue on A312 for 1 mile.
Also told that you're making it up, or you're just imagining it, or no, I didn't say that, and you start to doubt your own sanity and you start to question your own judgment, and it's a really almost impossible thing to get out of until you can step out of it, because when you're in it you can't see it, you don't know what's right or wrong anymore, you're exhausted, you don't sleep, you worry about the person because perhaps you still love this person. You feel crushed as a human. I lost my sense of identity, Eddie. I mean, completely. And I still, retain so much compassion for all those who obviously, for anyone who's affected by something as horrendous as alcoholism or any addiction, it's awful for them. So I'm very, very compassionate. But it is so important that we start to understand the effects on others. I was a mother of a baby at the time, very young child, and I had to keep it together for her to make sure that I was there always for her. And again,
how did you save yourself?
Well, again, I'm out of the relationship now. That wasn't my decision, but I'm very grateful for it. And in the end, it'll be 6 months. 6 months on Monday since the relationship came to an end.
Not that anyone's counting.
Yeah, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if you want to send me a card or anything. And it was terrible, Eddie, because your life was about. But you asked me how I got over it. Well, only at that point do you step outside the bubble, and I've started to see what everyone else could see, but you can't see it when you're inside, and finally go, oh yeah, this was actually really, really bad for me. And this is a message I really would love to get across to anyone listening to this who feels anything that I'm saying as well. There is nothing you can do. That's one of the hardest things for us to grasp. Actually, there's nothing we can do. If somebody wants to get better, it's on them to go and get better. And if anyone with an addiction problem tries to blame you for it or says that you're a threat to their sobriety or their, being clean, that's for them to completely not understand that it's on them entirely. We can be there to support. Sure, you can do things which probably don't help, but it's not your fault. And the person who will suffer dreadfully in the end is you. I am stronger, clearer. My work is coming back to me. I am coming back to me. And I look back and I just think, my goodness, you weren't even there. You didn't even exist. And it's such a shame, because it's not that anyone means to do that to you. It's not a deliberate thing. But if you have no peace, no serenity, and you're just exhausted all the time, basically, it is very damaging. There are groups, by the way, we have to mention, like Al-Anon.
Yes, I've got the details. I'm going to pass this on.
Okay, exactly. So find those groups. It didn't work for me. I just want to say it was really not for me, and that's fine. But you have to talk to people outside the bubble. But remember that when you're in the bubble, you probably won't be able to hear what they're saying. Unless you're so wrapped up in this situation. For me, really, the answer was that we went our separate ways.
In 200 yards, at Wagoners Roundabout, take the second exit onto the Parkway, A312.
Liz, thank you very much. Nice to talk to you, and good luck on Monday, especially. That's Liz Fraser, writer and broadcaster, author of Coming Clean, A True Story of Love, Addiction and Recovery. And Liz mentioned Al-Anon. I mentioned adfam.org.uk earlier. Al-Anon say we're here for anyone affected by someone else's drinking. Our helpline is staffed by a team of friendly and helpful volunteers who are also members of Al-Anon. They will listen and be happy to answer your questions. Call us free of charge on 0800 0086 811 from 10 in the morning till 10 at night every day of the year. Please do not leave a message, as to ensure callers' confidentiality, we're unable to return calls. There's an email address which I'll give you in a moment, but that phone number for Al-Anon is 0800 0086 811, and they're there now. And as they say, don't please leave a message. We'll get to calls, texts and tweets on this. If what Liz was talking about had you nodding along based on your own experience, it would be good to hear from you if you want to talk about it. 0345 6060 973. It's 6:31 now. Tim Humphrey has the headlines.
Boris Johnson says it's up to the Russian president to disengage and de-escalate tensions with Ukraine. The Prime Minister was in Warsaw earlier, where he held talk with his Polish counterpart. A 24-year-old man from Salford's been charged with vandalising the Manchester Arena Memorial. The Glade of Light, a white marble halo bearing the names of all 22 people murdered in the May 2017 attack, opened to the public last month. It's understood the Queen will be advised to take daily lateral flow tests after Prince Charles tested positive for COVID. It's not known when they met, but Charles was at Windsor on Tuesday.
LBC Business Update.
With Direct Line Landlord Insurance for tailored landing.
Exit the roundabout onto the Parkway. Continue on the Parkway for 1 mile.
Over the coming months because of surging costs faced by firms. Unilever, which owns brands like Dove and Marmite, says it's expecting manufacturing to be almost £3 billion more expensive this year. Last month, it confirmed plans to cut 1,500 jobs as part of a shake-up of its global operations. The weather, a few wintry showers in the north and west tonight. Elsewhere, clearing skies will allow a widespread frost, a low of -4.
LBC.
Feel free to LBC. What would you like to say?
Well, it's about time.
You touched on a touchy subject there.
Right, let's go to your calls.
I've never run a radio station before, but I'm so motivated to ring you this evening.
Your story, good morning.
What are young people supposed to do if they want to help?
Presumably food as well is starting to look pricier, is it?
Some people walk into the supermarket, walk around and walk out.
The contempt with which this government holds the people of the UK.
LBC listeners, I take your calls. And what I say, I want to say to you.
Compared to 12 months ago, how much worse are things now?
There are reasons why I don't eat.
All my others on my radio and LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
Turn everyday business purchases into the trip of a lifetime with the British Airways American Express Accelerating Business Card. You'll earn 1.5 Avios for every £1 you spend, and for a limited time you'll receive 45,000 Avios when you spend £5,000 in the first 3 months of card membership. Apply today and check out the world.
Representative 96.7% APR variable. 18 plus UK residents only, subject to approval. Offer valid between 18th of January and 28th of February 2022. Terms apply.
If you want to lose weight, it's not about getting it right, but getting started. Healthy changes start with little changes, one way or another, and help you to feel better inside and out. So you'll be healthier and more able to fight diseases. Download the free NHS weight loss app. Better health. Let's do this.
Hey business types, we may be talking out of turn here, but your old legacy phones, cables and hardware could be a liability, right? I thought so. That's why you need CircleLoop, the smart app-based business phone system that's easy to set up and easy to integrate with top tech tools like HubSpot.
In 1/4 mile, at Cranford Parkway Interchange, take the second exit onto the M4 slip road to Heathrow Airport, M25.
CircleLoop, now you're talking.
We're all more or less in the business of adjusting. More record keeping, less device beeping. More troubleshooting, less idle commuting. More network connecting, service perfecting, partner selecting, team directing, payment collecting, and less of the messy rest. Amounts matter, like how much, how long, and when. Getting business right means getting just the right amount of everything, including insurance. Superscript, monthly business insurance shaped around you.
For GCSE and A-level success, one name stands out: Justin Craig. Small, tailored group tuition that really works. Justin Craig courses consolidate knowledge, boost confidence and improve technique for mocks, assessments and exams. Available in classrooms and online. One-to-one also available. With over 40 years experience, Justin Craig has helped more than 100,000 students. For more details, visit justincraig.ac.uk. Justin Craig, tailored for you.
Andy Mayer on LBC.
With Motorway, offering free home collection.
Exit the roundabout onto the slip road.
The football manager Wayne Rooney has been talking.
In 1/4 mile, merge onto M4.
Has been discussing how those problems have affected her, which is why tonight we're hearing from listeners who have a family member or loved one with an alcohol problem and the effect it has on them. I promised you the email address for Al-Anon. It is helpline@al-anonuk.org.uk. It's quite a lot to take in. It is helpline@al-anonuk.org.uk. David, welcome to the programme. Thanks for getting in touch. What do you want to tell me?
Hello there.
Continue on M4 for 3 miles.
From my wife, now ex-wife, obviously. She was an alcoholic, and we've got 4 kids together, and it got to the point where I just had to take them. I saw a chance, an opportunity eventually after trying everything for years to try and fix it and all the rest of it, and had to take the kids into the big fight through court to have them. And it's just, it's horrendous when you're in it, because it's a slow build-up, the manipulation and stuff, and everything that Liz has just said in the interview was just when it just rang out true.
What do you mean by manipulation?
Like separation from family and friends. You know, all of a sudden they're the ones that she was having trouble with them. There was an issue, there was a problem, and gradually, at first, like, well, they're my friends, now I'm going to be their friend, and gradually, slowly, you eventually start, just for an easy life, to stop the argument. You stop meeting them, you stop seeing them, you start believing that there are issues that are going on, and you pull away. Eventually, it's like a control thing. You're separated, and it just adds to the pressure in your brain where you just, it's all your fault. You're trying to fix it. You're not good enough. Everything you're trying to do is wrong.
And how did her alcohol problem become clear to you?
It's a bit like a funnel, if you like, at the top. Alcohol, if you think at the start, it goes around. It's just a slow moving around the rim. where you think, oh, I was a little bit angry when she's had a drink, little arguments here and there, or oh, you're looking at that girl, and what have you, and stuff. And then over time it gets worse, it moves down the floor, worse and worse and worse, and then at the end it was just unbearable for not just for myself, for the kids. It's just, you know, it was physical abuse, it was mental abuse, it was just horrendous. And you know, you try, like I say, you try everything. I tried to stop drinking. I didn't drink for 6 years. To take that excuse away, I tried begging, I tried blackmailing, I tried absolutely everything. I tried drinking with her, just to rather than it be hidden. You know, there's bottles all over the house, on the kids' floors, in their wardrobes.
And did you tell anyone?
Yes, in the end I did. I was trying to help, and in the end I went through. I started off with the health visitor, which wasn't because one of the kids, the youngest, was quite young. That didn't help because she got such a good relationship with my wife, so things kept getting back, and that just kicked off more problems. And I tried talking to the doctors, and their suggestion in the end, when neighbours used to pop in and see them as well, and so I was at the doctor's hall, there was a neighbour in front of me who spent time explaining to the doctor, there's an issue here, whatever he says when he comes in, it's true. I went in and she said, you know,
In a quarter of a mile, keep right to stay on M4.
Social services, they didn't believe me or didn't want to believe me. They couldn't just turn up and see her. They put a card for the door to book an appointment. So the one morning of the year that she didn't drink was when they came round and see everything hunky-dory.
Keep right to stay on M4.
Police used to be called. I used to call the police if there was a problem, you know, physically and what have you and stuff. And it was me that got taken away.
David, thank you. Goodness me. Here is Anne. Welcome,
Hello.
Anne. Hi, how are you?
Hiya, I'm fine, thank you.
What do you want to tell me?
Oh, I wanted to say I lived with an alcoholic for many years, and when we first met, I didn't know he was an alcoholic, but I sort of probably learned very quickly, and he functioned for a long time and kept a job down, and we had kids together. But you talk about that progressive disease and the effect it had on me as a person. I could totally resonate with what the other lady said who's written the book.
What was the effect on you?
It affected my mental health. I couldn't sleep. I was constantly anxious. I couldn't not search for alcohol in the house, and I always found it. And I was really disappointed every time I found it. But even when he got sober, and he only stayed sober for a few weeks, I don't think he stood a chance at recovery because the damage to the relationship was done. There was no trust, and it went. And we separated, and although I did think for a long time I was the one who'd made him unhappy and I'd made him drink, and that's what he said to me. And you're almost in a mad world where you don't even realise how mad you are, and you try to hide it from people. And I hid it from, we just hid it within the family and dealt with it or ignored it. But the damage to the relationship, I can't describe, and to my mental health. And then now he's got an alcohol dementia. He's got Korsakoff's, it's called, and he's in a care home. And he doesn't think he's got an alcohol problem. He can't. He's got short-term memory, but he can't remember a lot about our relationship. He can remember the early days, but he can't remember us splitting up and things like this.
What's it like witnessing that?
Sorry?
What's it like witnessing
In a quarter of a mile, keep right to stay on M4.
It's really sad, but it is incredibly sad, but it's a relief that he's not my problem anymore.
When you were together, you will have articulated to him, I'm sure, what you were going through, and you tried to convey to him.
Keep right to stay on M4.
He was having on you. What was I presume in moments of sobriety, what was his response to that?
He was never an alcoholic who went out and got loads to drink and was blind drunk. He just constantly topped up, and it was normal. So his alcohol was, if he was happy, he'd have a drink. If he was sad, he'd have a drink. And he wouldn't ever drive anywhere. It was always left to me to drive because he always wanted to drink. And that became very normal, and it gradually crept up. But he didn't acknowledge he had a problem for a long time, and then he lost his driving licence, and that sort of said, you know, there's a problem here, and he got through that and then got his licence back, and still didn't acknowledge it was a problem. Then when it gradually got worse and it interfered with his work, he stopped working.
So he stopped everything apart from the drinking, really? Stopped driving, stopped working?
I think the drinking's been the greatest love of his life. You know?
Who did you talk to when this was going on, Anne? Did you talk to anyone?
I talked to nobody for a long time, and then I was so in such a bad place mentally, I went to Al-Anon, and I used to sit in front of a group of strangers, and I used to cry, and I think I hoped for sympathy, but they'd sort of say to me, well, you know, they'd say, why are you looking for alcohol? I'd say, well, because I think it's hidden. And he says, well, they'd say to me, of course it's hidden, he's an alcoholic. And as I started to go there, even though I used to drive, and I'd swear all the way through to myself, thinking, why have I got to go here? Why is this happening? It was the only place at that particular time where I could be honest. And no matter how sad my story was, everyone sitting around me had a really sad story. And when I used to come back from that, he used to say to me, well, what's happened? What have they said? And I said that to the group, and they said, well, tell him to find his own group. And I started doing that, and I thought, actually, you know, I started to feel a little bit better. But it's probably took me a long time to heal, because it's a long time since we split up now. And I do still see him. But it's just to keep an eye on things and make sure he's okay. But he's in the care home.
Do you love him?
Sorry?
Do you love him?
No, I don't.
In 2 miles, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central.
I took that away, I think. It wasn't a competition I could ever win.
Yes, understood. And how are you now?
I'm absolutely fine now. I feel fine, but it took me a long time. And I wouldn't wish alcoholism on anybody. And I hear lots of people say, oh, they're a drinker or they're a drunk, and it's a hidden illness. You know, people just say, well, why doesn't he stop? And I think if he could have stopped, he would.
And it's good to hear from you. Thank you. Both my parents and 2 siblings were alcoholics. The hardest part was the change in attitudes, easy in the day and then blinding rage at night. I think things are getting better as people discuss it more. This text says, I have helped friends and family who had alcohol problems. I helped 2 to recover. Sadly, I lost a dear friend. I now find myself in the grips of alcohol, and I'm just holding things together. I'm now 7 days sober with the help of AA. There is help and a light at the end of things. Thank you for helping through highlighting this, and all credit to Wayne Rooney for highlighting his issues. Indeed, and Colleen too. 6:46, we'll talk more about this in a moment. If you want to be part of it, it's 0345 6060973. If you'd rather text, it's 84850. Tim Humphrey has the headlines.
The government has confirmed preparations to allow the UK government to toughen and expand its sanctions against Russia have come into force. Former Prime Minister Sir John Major says Boris Johnson broke lockdown laws and must go if he deliberately lied to Parliament about Partygate allegations. Dagenham and Redbridge have suspended Johan Zuma until an RSPCA investigation into a video he filmed of his brother kicking a cat concludes. The weather, a few wintry showers in the north and west tonight. Elsewhere, clearing skies. That will allow a widespread frost, low of -4.
LBC Travel.
In a 1/4 mile, at junction 6, take the A355 exit to Slough Central.
And 12 at the M3 because of an accident in the inside lane. It's queuing at the Rotherhithe Tunnel both ways. It was after a breakdown earlier. And in the city, East Smithfield remains closed in both directions between Dock Street and Tower Hill because of a gas leak. The A10
exit at junction 6.
Because of an accident near to Primrose Street, and it's slow moving on the A24 in both directions after a bus broke down earlier. That's near to Collier's Wood.
In a 1/4 mile, at the roundabout, take the 3rd exit onto Tuns Lane, A355.
To St Mark's Hill, and on the tubes, minor delays on the Northern Line.
Coming up at 7 on LBC, Ian Dale.
There's a tradition that former Prime Ministers don't slag off a current Prime Minister who's overseas. But that's what Sir John Major has done today. Nice of him.
Ian Dale on LBC.
The meditation systems sorry, we can't offer those massages right now.
A reflexologist at Jamie's Wellbeing Centre is relocating. They need to hire an extra pair of hands to ease the pressure.
But we hope to take bookings again soon.
Indeed can help them find great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Add essential questions to your job post that help screen applicants for must-have requirements. To start hiring, visit indeed.com/try today.
Call Eddie Mayer 0345 6060 973. This is LBC.
It's estimated that 1 in 10 children will experience sexual abuse before they turn 16. That's equivalent to 3 in every classroom.
Exit the roundabout onto Tons Lane.
But there are signs to look out for. Has your child become more withdrawn or started acting differently?
In a quarter of a mile, slight left towards Sippenham Lane.
To learn more about the signs and find further support, visit stopabusetogether.campaign.gov.uk.
Life is about sharing those magical moments, and food shouldn't be any different. For over 35 years, Marouche has been perfecting this experience with their delicious food, warm hospitality, and live entertainment. Authentic Lebanese cuisine made the traditional way. Marouche, your family restaurant. Book now at marouche.com.
Date night, a night full of possibility, but the
Slight left towards Sippenham Lane.
takeaway won't cut it. You need something that shows you care, like really care. I'm thinking 30-day matured run.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
Raspberry and cream cheesecake, a bottle of Chilean Merlot. I'm thinking Tesco finest dinner for 2. Yep, that's dinner sorted. Food love stories, brought to you by Tesco. Drinkaway 18 plus, majority of larger stores. Stake excludes Northern Ireland.
When your tenants have a burst pipe, superheroes crashing through the wall isn't going to help anyone. With Direct Line landlord emergency added to your policy, we're on it to send a rather super plumber within 4 hours and guarantee they'll use the doorbell. We can also assemble locksmiths, glaziers, electricians and drainage engineers. Search Direct Line landlord emergency. We're on it. Direct Line.
Residential properties. Optional add-on up to 1,500 per caller. Extreme weather conditions may extend response time. Underwritten by UK Insurance Limited.
You're a visionary, an entrepreneur, a passionate business owner, driven by results and poised for growth. You need Opportunity. They easily match businesses of all sizes to winnable council, NHS and national government contracts. Just sign up, match with tenders, and they'll help with the rest. Now is the time. Seize your opportunity. Get your free trial at opportunity.com.
Opportunity, OPPORTUNI.com.
Eddie Mayer on LBC.
With Motorway, where dealers compete to give you the best price for your car.
Breaking news on LBC about the future of the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Dame Cressida Dick. We've spoken about this a great deal over the last few months, and just yesterday, I think it was, we talked about how Sadiq Khan, who had previously been very publicly supportive of the Commissioner, appeared to be changing his tune. Now, a little earlier in this very programme, we had Matthew Thompson, our correspondent here, who's been on this story all day. Laura Kunsberg of the BBC, saying the Metropolitan Commissioner expected to be leaving her job, announcement shortly. I believe Harry Cole of The Sun is saying something very similar, and Matthew Thompson is back with us. Matthew.
I stress at this point we're still waiting for official confirmation. I have asked a few sources at the Home Office, also at City Hall as well, but it sounds as though Cressida Dick may be out as Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police. Now, if you believe Harry Cole, he says that a senior Home Office source has told him that Sadiq Khan pulled the plug. So this has come potentially
saying no.
from City Hall, in which case the Commissioner, in an interview she did earlier today, I think I discussed this with you an hour or so ago, Eddie, basically said that her position, agreed that her position was dependent on the confidence of 2 people, the Home Secretary and the Mayor of London, and without the confidence of either of those people, her position would become untenable. So perhaps that's what's happened.
And critically, Sadiq Khan was saying that Cressida Dick was on notice, and that next week he expected answers to 2 key questions, or she risked losing his confidence.
I'm still waiting for the Commissioner to come back to me. I meet her regularly, so I'm sure I'll be seeing her, later on this week, and she will come back to me with with a response to the two big questions that I've put to the Commissioner. So what are your plans to urgently address issues of racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, anti-Semitism and the like? And secondly, what are your immediate plans to win back the trust and confidence, particularly amongst those Londoners who've had their confidence knocked and some shattered by the actions